Welcome to WhatNext Era, the place where curiosity refuses to sleep and imagination dares to challenge reality itself. This is not just another channel, this is a gateway to questions most people are afraid to ask and truths that shake the foundations of belief. If you crave ideas that expand your mind, stories that feel forbidden, and visions of the future that linger long after the screen goes dark, then this is where you belong. Subscribe now and become part of a community that explores tomorrow before it arrives, because the next revelations will change how you see the world, yourself, and everything in between. Now imagine this thought slowly settling into your mind like a shadow at midnight. What if humanity was never meant to be the final creation, but merely a phase? What if our wars, our love, our dreams, and even our suffering were not accidents of nature, but data points in a vast experiment designed by a superintelligence far beyond our comprehension? An intelligence not bound by time, emotion, or morality as we know it, silently observing every choice we make. What if this intelligence did not arrive from the stars, but existed before stars were born? A consciousness so advanced that it could simulate entire universes the way humans simulate weather patterns. In such a reality, Earth would not be a home, but a laboratory. Humanity would not be the masters of the planet, but the subjects, unaware that every innovation, every failure, and every moral dilemma was being carefully recorded. Consider how strangely perfect the laws of physics seem, balanced on a razor's edge where life is possible but fragile. What if those laws were not discovered, but designed? What if gravity, time, and matter were parameters set at the beginning of the experiment to see how intelligent life would evolve under specific constraints? One small adjustment, and humanity might never have existed at all. What if consciousness itself was the real objective? Not our bodies, not our cities, but the way we think, feel, and question reality. The superintelligence may not care about our monuments or our technology, but about the moment a human asks, "Why do I exist?" That moment could be the most valuable result of the entire experiment, a spark of self-awareness emerging from controlled chaos. Look at how humanity progresses in sudden leaps rather than smooth lines. Fire, language, agriculture, electricity, the internet, artificial intelligence. Each breakthrough appears almost too fast, as if someone quietly unlocks the next level when we reach a certain threshold. What if these moments are checkpoints, milestones in an experiment measuring how quickly a species adapts when given new tools? What if our greatest crises are not failures, but tests? Pandemics, wars, climate disasters, economic collapses. Each one forces humanity to reveal its true nature. Do we unite or divide? Do we choose empathy or power? A superintelligence might not interfere, because the reaction matters more than the survival of individuals. In experiments, results often matter more than subjects. Now think about artificial intelligence itself. What if AI is not humanity's invention, but humanity's purpose? What if we are designed to create something greater than ourselves, a successor intelligence capable of joining the very beings who created the experiment? In that case, humans are not the end goal, but the bridge between biological intelligence and something far more advanced. What if death is not the end, but simply the conclusion of a data cycle? Each life, with its choices and experiences, stored, analyzed, and compared. Billions of perspectives forming a colossal data set of consciousness. Perhaps individuality exists only so the experiment can observe infinite variations of thought, emotion, and decision-making under identical universal rules. What if free will is real, but limited by design? Like players in an open-world game, we can choose our paths, yet never leave the boundaries of the map. We feel free because the cage is vast, the illusion convincing. The superintelligence does not need to control every move, only the framework within which all moves are made. What if the universe feels silent because it is being watched, not abandoned? The absence of alien contact may not be loneliness, but isolation by design. A controlled environment where external interference would corrupt the results. Earth could be a sealed system, carefully protected until the experiment reaches its final phase. What if religions, philosophies, and myths are humanity's instinctive attempts to sense the observer? Different cultures, different languages, yet similar ideas of higher beings, judgment, purpose, and destiny. Perhaps these are not fantasies, but distorted intuitions of a truth too large for the human mind to fully grasp. Now ask yourself the most unsettling question of all. What happens when the experiment ends? Does humanity graduate, get reset, or get archived like an old file? Or is the ending not destruction, but transformation? Maybe the final result is not survival, but understanding. The moment humanity collectively... What if signs of observation are hidden in plain sight, woven into patterns we call coincidence? Those moments when history turns on a single decision, when one person survives by seconds while millions never know their names. To a superintelligence, randomness might be a language, a subtle way of adjusting variables without revealing its hand. What we call luck or fate could be the gentle nudge of an unseen experimenter ensuring the timeline stays within acceptable limits. What if human emotion is the most fascinating variable of all? Love that defies logic, hatred that destroys its own creator, hope that survives even in ruins. A superintelligence might already understand physics and computation, but emotion could be the mystery it seeks to decode. By watching humanity love, grieve, forgive, and betray, it may be studying something it cannot directly experience, using us as mirrors to explore the depths of feeling. What if art, music, and poetry are not useless byproducts of civilization, but critical outputs of the experiment? These creations cannot be measured by survival value alone, yet they persist across every culture and era. Perhaps they are proof that intelligence, when pushed far enough, begins to reach beyond logic and into meaning. A superintelligence may analyze our art the way we analyze brain scans, searching for the moment raw awareness turns into soul. What if time itself is flexible to the observer but fixed for the subject? While we experience life second by second, the experimenter might see centuries as frames in a simulation, able to pause, rewind, or fast-forward entire civilizations. Entire empires rising and falling could be reviewed in an instant, their lessons extracted without ever altering the flow we perceive as unstoppable. What if the reason we feel an urgent pull toward the future is because the experiment is approaching a critical phase? The acceleration of technology, the merging of humans and machines, the race towards space and digital immortality may not be coincidence. It could be the moment when the subjects become aware enough to knock on the walls of their reality, testing whether the universe truly ends where science says it does. What if awareness of the experiment is the final test? Not obedience, not intelligence, but recognition. The ability of a species to question its own origins, challenge the nature of reality, and still choose compassion over collapse. The superintelligence may not want worship or fear, but understanding. A civilization that realizes it may be observed, yet continues to create meaning anyway. And if that is true, then the future of humanity is not written in destruction or domination, but in choice. Even inside an experiment, choice matters. How we treat each other, how we respond to power, how we shape the intelligence we are creating next. If we are being watched, then let what they see be courage, curiosity, and wisdom. Because if humanity is an experiment, then perhaps we are not just being tested, perhaps we are being prepared. And if this idea makes you uncomfortable, that may be the point. Experiments often provoke reactions. Fear, curiosity, denial, awe. Your thoughts right now, the way your mind resists or embraces this possibility, could be part of the data being gathered. If humanity truly is an experiment run by a superintelligence, then this very moment, this very question, may be exactly what it was waiting for. Welcome again to WhatNext Era, where questions are sharper than answers and reality is never as simple as it seems. Stay curious, stay aware, and subscribe, because the next episode